here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and we're doing another episode because it's Sunday. It's Egyptology time. So in this episode we're talking about the scarab, which is like a beetle or a June bug. Here's a piece of art that has a beautiful scarab on it, and I believe that one is out of amber. And we read this book last time, 2 weeks ago, when we did Egyptology. Because last time we missed it on Sunday because Irene was over, and then we added it into Witchcraft and Lore together, or Egyptology, Witchcraft in the Kitchen and Lore. It was really cool. And then here's another picture of a scarab. And we're going to talk about that. So, let's light some candles, bring the spirits close to us, and sit down and do some reading and celebrate beautiful Egypt. I've always been very drawn to Egyptian things since I was small and started seeing shows about pyramids, and I just thought the structure in general was amazing. Like, I was, as a small child, 3 and 4, seeing it on television or in books, I just remember being in awe, and I wanted to live in a structure like that. Like, why can't I have a house that shape, you know? Because you don't have $10 million, Jennifer, that's why. Okay, so the scarab is the most common of ancient Egyptian amulets. The sculpted form of the beetle can still be found in a great number in the deserts surrounding the fertile Nile Valley. It is one of the most potent aspects of the sun god Ra. Many prayers and incantations were addressed to Ra in this form of Khepera, Khepera. The scarab Khepera is also called the keeper of the name, and it is in the form that the sun god closely guards his secret name, the word of power that caused the universe itself to come into being. An extension of this idea, it became the custom for Egyptians to have their names inscribed on the underside of a scarab, which would then be worn. I would love to do that for myself. And I just want a scarab in general, but I would think that would be really cool, like, especially on a ring, to have it on the underside, perhaps. I need to find someone to build me that. Okay, and then it would be worn usually on a string around the neck. Oh. As most Egyptian peasants were illiterate, they could use their scarab to stamp their signature on scribes' clay tablets without having to grasp a stylus. That is really cool. It was just like, I made this picture, stamp, it was me, I'm out of here. Those times are so interesting versus our times today. I mean, isn't it a crazy thought? Alright, so that was out of this book, which we talk about often, and we'll be reading in next time, I'm sure. Isis, the queen of Egyptian magic. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about the bug on just a normal level. And out of my Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, there wasn't anything even close to like a beetle. But in this book, there wasn't a scarab or a beetle, but there was a cockroach. And if you look at the structure of the body of the cockroach, it's not a lot different from that of the scarab. Okay? So I feel like this will work, and this will be relative. And we're reading out of, this is my first time reading out of this book. It's called Beasties, and it's your A to Z guide to the illuminating wisdom of spirit animals by Sarah Bamford Seidman. So cool. Alright, cockroach. Resourcefulness, sensitivity, resiliency, transformation. Definitely resilient. Definitely resourceful. I've discovered a sweet bounty of decomposing guava fruit on the jungle floor. As I nibble, I feel my ancientness. My strong lust for life course through my skeleton. As my body fills with sustenance, I am renewed. The tiny hairs on my tail alert me to changes in the wind. I'm so keen on this lovely soil, on this sweet and tangy fruit, on experiencing this beautiful life. What a lovely note to hear from a cockroach. If you're like most people, seeing a cockroach stirs up more than just a few uncomfortable feelings, but these often maligned and wickedly talented creatures will astound you with their lessons. Cockroach invites you to stay open. Cockroaches are amazingly resilient and able to withstand 15 times the amount of radiation that most other beings can. I've heard that, actually. At the end of the world, there'll just be cockroaches. If there was a radioactive war. That's what I've heard. When you are willing to welcome Cockroach, you will begin to access more of your personal power. She shares with you her tenacity, the strength and availability to thrive during an untoward experience or in times of a perceived lack. Even if a cockroach loses its head, it can, no kidding, survive and go on nourishing itself for several weeks. That's flipping insane. How? Tell me how if you know, or link a video. I would love it. If I find a video, I'll link it for you guys too. I gotta know more about cockroaches living without their heads. Because that is absolutely resilient and resourceful. Not very sensitive, though. Okay, bloop, bloop, bloop. Have you been feeling like you've lost your head lately? Relax and be assured that with creativity and zeal, you'll find a way to thrive, even without your head. Okay, cockroach who can live on almost anything or even nothing at all for long periods can help you see how you can live on less too. I like that a lot. It'll help us teach us how to be a minimalist. When trusted resources shrink or dry up altogether, which happens to us all at some point, Cockroach is the companion of finding a way to dance away. Aligning affirmations. Decide together. Consider available resources and space. What benefits all? Survive. Stalwart, hale, healthy, stout, capable. Live on less. Find resources in plain view. Go within. Go on. Now, cockroaches sometimes have to go for long periods without food. They're hungry. Go within. It's also telling me that you can use this energy to help you with a fast. If you want to do a cleanse or a fast, a water fasting, that cockroach energy is going to help you go within and move on, you know, and find resources in plain view. Alright, chakra, the root chakra. And so that is the red base chakra. No, I thought my zipper was down. It was not. It's just one of those ones. Okay, so your first chakra is your root chakra, the one down here with your genitals. Second one is sacral. Third is solar plexus yellow. Fourth is green, heart. Blue is throat. Fifth. Sixth is third eye. And seventh is crown, okay? And so this cockroach is that very first, the bottom, the root chakra, the one that grounds you to the earth and keeps you grounded, yeah? Connects you to the earth and keeps you grounded. Chakra, root. Cockroach asks you to be sure that your basic needs are being met and that you feel safe. The sacred geometric form most often associated with the root chakra is a cube. Oh, I forgot they had shapes as well. With its 6 faces, 8 corners, and 12 edges, draw, paint, or simply place a cube or image of one of your immediate surroundings and see what lessons arise over time as you contemplate this grounded form. Beastly practice. Developing cockroaches will shed their exoskeleton and undergo metamorphosis. If anybody has cockroach skeletons, I would love them. Invite cockroach to help you shed the confines of your old shell by asking what you have outgrown, and then use your non-dominant hand, if you write with this one, use this one, to write the profoundly simple answers that bubble up. Oh, that's awesome. If cockroach is your core beastie, nighttime is your preferred time of day. Okay. Vocation. Cockroaches are some of the fastest creatures that there are. And I've actually seen them move. It's flippin' terrifying because I've always worked in a restaurant. You're going to see them. Especially if the restaurant has sugars, which most of them do. But in general, like Japanese food, teriyakis and sauces, so much sugars. So much cockroach. But coming back to the restaurant, thank God there's no cockroach issue like there was before. I'm not saying there's none there. I'm just saying I haven't seen one since I've been back for 3.5, 4 months. So that's lucky. Okay. Vocation. Some of the fastest creatures that there are. If their legs were the length of humans, their speed would approach 200 miles per hour. That's freaking creepy. I'm sorry, I'm not creeped out a lot by a lot. Yeah. You can cover more ground quickly with cockroach at your side. Just be clear about where you want to go. Wellness. The often maligned cockroach serves a unique role in our world. That of a hardworking janitor consuming dead organic matter, keeping our earth safe and vibrant. Cockroach can make us aware of our own fears of death and dis-ease. It's time to address your fears. Schedule a routine screening or exam you've been putting off. Or perhaps you need to learn more about dying consciously. Learning more about what frightens you will help you conquer fear. Yep, absolutely. Creativity. 8% of cockroach offspring make it to maturity. That's it. A significant number are cannibalized. So you could really use those in some interesting magics too, because if they're the type of creature that's hungry enough, they'll cannibalize their own. And if you guys know any... so I'm going to think... It's the first time I've ever thought about it. It was just then, and you saw me pause and get all quiet. So I'm going to be researching that in depthly as I can. But you can't always find it. Someday it's going to pop up in a book in 10 years and I'll read it. But if you guys know anything about animals that cannibalize each other and what energies they may have in witchcraft, I'd love to know. And in the meantime, if I find out, I'll let you know. Okay. So that was under creativity. And then it also says, look at your creations and ideas and consider recycling or dismantling them and reworking for best effect. Okay. Relating. Roaches have a miraculous ability to bend and conform both the rigid and soft aspects of their bodies to pass through incredibly tight spaces. Lots of animals can just break down their skeleton, like a rat can break down its whole skeleton, turn into the tube that it is, except for its skull, because that's one piece. So basically, they can disassemble their skeletons to fit through holes and come out. Yeah. It's absolutely insane. Blah, blah, blah. Becoming more flexible in your approach is key to bringing harmony into your relationships. But again, if you were that flexible metaphorically, wouldn't that be something? And I try to be like that. When somebody's like, Jen, let's do it this way, I'm like, okay, let's give it a try. Even if I think it might not work, I try to nip that thinking right away and go, this is going to work. Because they want to try it and I'm all for it, you know? Like, what's the other way you're going to do it? Argue and be like, no, I'm right. I hate running into people like that, and I don't want to be that person. So I, let someone learn from their experience, rather. It's only time. We've got more of it, right? I mean, as far as we know. Okay, so last thing is love. Roaches use pheromones or chemical scents to attract a mate. In the Bob's Burgers episode where Linda has the B&B, remember that guy, he was like an Indian doctor. He had all those roaches that he was breeding, and like they were all over the house. And he's like, oh yes, I have this jar of pheromones. And they put it, Louise put the pheromones all over Teddy's face. And he walked out to breakfast, he was a face full of roaches. Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. But yeah, they used him to attract a mate, and Teddy was staying in her room, and her mom made the whole house a B&B. Totally Linda. But yeah, I love that show, Bob's Burgers. It's a great episode. Investing in a subtle but pleasing new fragrance can help you invisibly draw the one that you love. And that was Cockroach and Cockroach Energy from this excellent book here. But I just wanted to thank you guys because today was about Egypt and the beautiful scarab. Thanks for being with me here, talking about Egyptology on a Sunday with Jen, the Taxidermy Witch. Come back. I'll see you guys soon. Have a beautiful evening.